This video is part of a course entitled The Successful Scholar, which can be found on udemy.com, teachable.com, or thinkific.com. There's a book available as a resource in both paperback and Kindle formats on Amazon. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll check out the full course. Choosing a career or a major may be one of the most daunting and overwhelming decisions for the majority of incoming freshmen. It becomes overwhelming as the 17-year-old, 18-year-old, even a 19-year-old are consistently asked, so what are you going to do when you grow up? This question can be overpowering for an adult who has education and an experience. In making a choice, there are a couple of things to keep in mind, which will alleviate some of the pressure. First, in the prior section, while looking at the reasons to get a college education, one of the purposes of higher education is that college graduates have better career opportunities. Remember that? While discussing this point, it was pointed out that a bachelor's degree opens the door for opportunities which may not be in the original field. In fact, many graduates don't work in the same field in which they received their degree. Another point to help alleviate the pressure is that in the current employment marketplace, individuals will have 5 to 6 different careers during a lifetime. There was a period when a professional would graduate from college with a degree, get a job with a company, and retire from that same company. However, this period in time has changed completely. Rarely will this happen. Not only will individuals change their job, but they will, in all likelihood, change their entire career. While pondering the first step, take a few moments and think about choosing this career. What are you interested in? Recently, I spoke to my son about his choice of a major. He replied that he wasn't really passionate about anything, any career. So often, passion is referred to when choosing. Repeatedly, career counselors will even ask, "What are you passionate about?" Then follows the great answer, "Nothing," or "I don't know." What do you do if you are not passionate about anything? Look around your life and see what interests you. My son stated that he is interested in gaming, and he is. It's not a point that I'm particularly proud of. We investigated computer programming, but that didn't interest him. And we looked into it by actually trying a free coding course online. With more trials and errors, we discovered how much he enjoys writing. And guess what? Gaming companies need writers to write the stories for their games. To make my son even more marketable, we looked at adding other options, like a minor for journalism and a certification for English teaching. Second, let's look at your experiences. Ponder the prior experiences. What have you done that may or may not have influenced your choices? While speaking to a college student about the possibility of pursuing an advanced degree in veterinarian medicine, this was to add to her science degree, she reported how she had worked in a vet office between semesters. She hated it. And why? She couldn't tolerate seeing the animals in pain. Think of experience you have had. Where did you have fun? Where have you provided community service? Did you volunteer for Habitat for Humanity? Did you discover that you enjoy working with your hands? Maybe you had a part-time job at a daycare. Do you enjoy small children? Do you enjoy cooking? Did you work in a restaurant? What other experiences can influence your career choices for good and for bad? Goals. Let's look at your goals. Not what someone else wants for you, but what you really want. An incoming student met with me in my office in tears one day. He hated his classes. He wanted to leave. He desperately wanted a degree in management, but was stuck in technology. And the foundation of the problem was that he grew up in Silicon Valley. His parents wanted him to get a degree in technology, something to do with computers. Their intentions were pure. They had struggled to provide for their son, and they didn't want him to struggle financially for the rest of his life. Ponder what may be causing you to follow a career path that you are simply not interested in. Is someone providing pressure? Is it good pressure, bad pressure? Is it causing you to choose something you simply don't want? Look if you're good at it. This may seem like a silly point, doesn't it? It is so easy to get caught up in the excitement of a professional field. Maybe it's for money, prestige, or maybe your friends pursuing it. Yet the foundational reason for any career should be that you are good at it. Let's look at the amount of education that's needed. The amount of education has to be considered. If a career requires a PhD but you don't like to study, it's probably not a very wise choice. Compare your required education with your desire to invest in the career. Along with this point is to look at the continued education. Okay, so let's say that you want to be a software engineer. You need to be aware that technology is changing at an exponential rate, and this is going to require a continual investment in education on a near daily basis. Future outlook. What is the future outlook? Well, first of all, what is future outlook? It's pretty much where that occupation is going. Is it going to grow, or is it eventually going to disappear? A few years ago, my father, who was in his 70s, told my children a story of when he was a meter reader. As the story continued, I can tell that they had no idea what a meter reader was. Pausing the story, my father showed them the meter on the house and how back in the day, he said, meters had to be read manually. This career is nearly gone. If you are passionate about a career which may disappear, be sure that you do have a plan B or an alternative plan. What will you do with your education if your desired profession no longer exists in 10, 15, even 20 years? Let's look at the educational expense. Is the educational expense going to actually make a difference for you? For instance, what is the cost to the benefit? Currently, a PhD averages $28,000 to $40,000. That's how much they earn. That's according to the Department of Education's National Center for Educational Statistics. The length of a PhD for an average student is 8 years, the cost of which is $224,000 to $320,000. Now you need to look and say, will the profession make up for the cost difference? Let's look at the earning potential. Obviously, this is not the most important item to keep in mind, but it is still important. You're going to want to make sure that you have enough money to support your lifestyle. For instance, you will live differently on an income of $45,000 compared to $100,000. And this list is obviously not comprehensive. There may be other items which influence your choice, such as where you live. For instance, a marine biologist probably won't live in a landlocked state, so it might be a little bit silly to be a marine biologist there. This will give you, though, a place to start pondering. And the point I want to make sure to emphasize, which I do with all my students and even my children as they've made their choices, is to be happy. Choose a career that will make you happy. You will spend over 90,000 hours during your lifetime at work. Wouldn't life be better if you simply chose to do something more enjoyable?